You ever have one of those moments where the world just flips on its head? Where you're sitting in the front yard, sipping your coffee, thinking it's going to be just another lazy summer day. Then out of nowhere, you're knee-deep in cop cars, angry neighbors, and a secret that's been buried for nearly 2 decades? Yeah, that was me, Caleb Jennings. And this is the story of how my niece, Sloane, turned out to be something way more than I ever imagined. So, I live out by Crystal Lake Estates. Sounds fancy, right? It ain't. It's one of those HOA-run neighborhoods where the grass better be cut just right, the mailboxes all match, and heaven forbid you paint your front door the wrong shade of beige. Folks here smile at you in the morning, then fine you for having the wrong kind of mulch by noon. After my brother Jackson passed, God rest his soul, I took in his daughter, Sloane. She was 16 at the time. Sharp as a tack, quieter than most kids, always watching. She'd been in boarding school most of her life, so this summer was our first real stretch of time together. I figured she needed peace, maybe some lake air, get away from all the noise of her mom's disappearance and her dad's death. Turns out, peace ain't exactly something the HOA here deals in. It all started that Thursday morning. Sloane was out front watering the potted ferns. She liked doing it. Said it reminded her of her mom. I was inside, cleaning out the old cooler, when I heard shouting. I come outside, and there's Marge, HOA president. She's standing at the end of our driveway like she owns the land God made. "Who is this girl? She doesn't belong here." I blinked. That's my niece, Sloane. "She's been wandering around the neighborhood. I saw her behind the miller's shed." "No, you saw her walking by the lake trail. That trail runs through our property, Marge." She didn't care. Marge got that look, the one with her jaw clenched and her eyes went wide, and then she pulled out her phone. Said she was calling the sheriff for trespassing. Trespassing on the land that's been in our family since my granddad's time. 15 minutes later, 3 patrol cars roll up. 3. They questioned Sloane like she was a runaway, had her sit on the porch with her hands folded while they figured things out. I was fuming, but Sloane, she just sat there, calm, steady. Then, without saying a word, she reached into her backpack, pulled out a manila envelope, and handed it to the deputy. Inside was a copy of the property deed. My jaw dropped, not because of the deed, but because of the name on it. Sloane Jennings, sole owner. "What the hell is this?" I asked, confused. She looked at me and said, real soft, "Dad signed it over when I was 12. It was in Mom's will, too." The officers read it, checked their systems. Turns out she was right. The property wasn't in my name, never had been. My brother left it all to Sloane through some legal channels I never even knew about. That's when things started to unravel. The next day, Sloane asked if we could go through the old attic. Said she wanted to find something her mom left behind. We spent hours digging through dusty boxes, and that's when she found it. An old wooden jewelry box with a false bottom. Inside was a silver locket and a stack of photos. Photos of her mom, Elena, and Marge. Only Marge wasn't Marge back then. Her name was Maria Santos. And from what Sloane showed me next, she wasn't just the nosy HOA queen. She used to run a fake real estate scheme with Elena, back when they were both in their 20s. Sloane sat me down that night, said she had something to tell me. Elena didn't die, Caleb. She disappeared because she was investigating Marge. I just stared. She found out the HOA here was a front for money laundering, fake assessments, fake fines. They used HOA fees to to buy up land under shell companies and flip them for profit. But the real dirty money came from moving cash through renovation grants that never existed. Elena tried to go to the feds, but someone tipped Marge off. She disappeared right after. My hands were shaking. "Why didn't you say something before?" she said. "Because I needed proof, and because," she paused, looking straight at me. "Mom said you weren't ready." That's when she handed me a USB drive. Inside were voice memos, journal entries, a recording of Elena crying, saying she couldn't trust anyone, not even the cops in town. I felt the bottom fall out of my stomach. The next morning, Sloan walked into the HOA office, calm as ever. Marge was behind her desk, smug as usual. "You're not supposed to be in here," Marge barked. Sloan pulled out a document. "I am now. Per Article 12, Section 3 of the HOA bylaws, as the legal owner of Lot 87A, I hereby motion for emergency suspension of the current president." "What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about fraud, embezzlement, and laundering, and I'm talking about the FBI who'll be here in 20 minutes. Marge's face drained of color. And just like that, she bolted. We watched from across the street as black SUVs rolled in. They raided the HOA office, then her house, computers, files, flash drives, all seized. Turns out, Sloan had been feeding tips to the feds for months. They'd just been waiting for one more piece of evidence to trigger the takedown. That locket? Hidden Mike. Marge had confessed to Elena's disappearance right before she vanished. She used it to get the warrant. Within a week, the entire HOA board was indicted. Turns out Marge had built a shell company network across 3 states, using HOA fines as seed money. But the biggest twist didn't hit until the day after Marge's arrest. Sloan handed me a letter in Elena's handwriting. It read, "If you're reading this, it means Sloan's safe, and that I've done what I had to do. Caleb, she's yours, not Jackson's. I had to lie to keep her away from this. I'm sorry. I couldn't breathe. All this time, she was my daughter. She knew. Of course she knew. That's why she came here. Not just to expose Marge, but to find me. I held her tight that night. Couldn't even speak. She said, 'It's okay. I found you. That's all I ever wanted.' Now Sloan is 18. She's applying to law schools, wants to specialize in property and fraud litigation, says she wants to fix communities like ours the right way. As for Crystal Lake, the HOA was dissolved. We formed a new council, voluntary, transparent, and honest. The lake's still there, still beautiful, but now it feels like it belongs to the people again. And me? Well, I'm just a dad trying to catch up. Funny how a little truth, a whole lot of patience, and a brave heart can turn everything around. So tell me, what would you have done if the kid you thought was just your niece turned out to be your daughter and your hero? Let me know in the comments. Was justice served here? Or are some truths too heavy to carry, even with love? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story if it moved you like it moved me. This is Caleb Jennings, signing off.